returned. He escaped unharmed.
In this report, they say, in effect, UFOs are real. Ergo, the extraterrestrial hypothesis may in some cases be the best or only real answer and cannot be ignored. They are technological. They do things that we probably can't do. And all that being said, this obviously constitutes a major concern for global defense and security.
When the report was completed, it was given to a number of leading French journalists. One of these was Bernard Tournel, the editor of VSD.
VSD is a French weekly magazine like Time Life. We are a journal press publication. It's not specialized in UFO sightings at all.
The Cometa Group allowed VSD to publish the report, provided it was not manipulated in any way.
If the public was aware of the Cometa report, then the Cometa report was not going to disappear in any kind of official or semi-official dark hole, so to speak. Then the Cometa report became a public fact, and it remains a public fact.
To date, the report has not been officially published outside of France. And so far, only one article, published in the Boston Globe, has appeared in the U.S. press.
I applied a very high standard to the story because of its controversial nature. I was basically retelling what the generals and the other people had concluded in their report. I looked at government documents that dealt with the issue of national security and UFOs, which was what the generals were dealing with in France.
Despite her thoroughness, Leslie Kean encountered much resistance in getting the story published.
I went to many papers, many of whom I published with in the past. People laughed, hung up the phone. The subject matter is ridiculed in the media. And so even though I was dealing with facts in this article and high-level journalism, they weren't interested because of the subject matter. This was really frustrating because I thought this was an extremely important story, and I know that it was newsworthy.
Most Americans have never heard of it. The group hasn't published an English translation that anybody can get a hold of. And they seem to be on the trail of saying, hey, you Americans, you're holding back technology that you've learned from flying saucers from your allies. So it's a message to the Pentagon, not to the public. They know the Pentagon knows they're real. So it's an important report for what it says. No other report with names, with people, with excellent cases, this is not anonymous reporting now, has come close to taking as strong a stand that some UFOs are extraterrestrial spacecraft.
I think it's time to open the books on questions that have remained in the dark, on the question of government investigations of UFOs. It's time to find out what the truth really is that's out there. We ought to do it really because it's right. We ought to do it because the American people, quite frankly, can handle the truth. And we ought to do it because it's the law.
It was, it was shaped like a saucer. I hate to use those trite terms, but that's what it was shaped like.
I looked up, and all of a sudden, there was this, gotta say it, flying saucer, kind of looking like it was not particularly far above us.
If you look at that tree limb, it seems to me that when it floated across the road, it was just about that far away.
You saw that it was actually moving, but the fact was it was just wrong.
Nothing we had at the time could fit the description, size, shape, or performance of this craft.
Often in reliable UFO cases, the official explanation is more unbelievable than the event itself.
I had the evidence that a crash did happen here.
And then the red light was sort of casting a glow over the whole thing, so it looked like a round disc.
I saw one, but I don't know what, it just disappeared.
People say, Mike, now you saw a B-2 bomber. My response was, we could land all 40 of our B-2 bombers on the wing of that craft.
What we saw out there was definitely unidentifiable.
There is a serious possibility that we are being visited and have been visited for many years by people from outer space, from other civilizations. That it behoves us, in case some of these people in the future or now should turn hostile, to find out who they are, where they come from, and what they want.
Well, if the accounts are to be believed, yes, there have been ET visitation, there have been crashed craft, there have been material and bodies recovered, and there is some group of people somewhere that may or may not be associated with government at this point, but certainly were at one time, that have this knowledge.
The thing you have to remember is that absolute power corrupts absolutely. When you've got the knowledge and the budget, nobody looking over your shoulder, it's a great temptation to think that you know best. The heck with the public, they don't know enough to have a sensible opinion. That's unfortunate.
Я как генерал, вот как военный человек, я понимаю, что любое правительство, понимаете, они начинают рассматривать это с точки зрения вот чего-то для войны, для военного, что-то применить, вот то, что там они принесут, это инопланетяне. Вот это категорически неправильно.
Since the subject is clearly of great interest to the public, I think that the scientific community owes it to the public to really pay attention to the subject and make a thorough, extensive and careful investigation, and then share with the public whatever they find.
A story this big, there's no way it could be kept secret from the public. What do you say to someone like that that says that?
Well, somebody's kept it pretty secret for quite a while, haven't they?
If structured craft of unknown origin are penetrating our skies, the people best equipped to know are the military.
And we will provide you with all the information that you need.
Numerous military witnesses are prepared to testify in great detail, but need immunity from their security oaths. Congress is currently being lobbied to provide a platform for such testimony. The discovery that we are being visited by extraterrestrials would be one of the greatest in human history. Such a discovery would profoundly alter the perception of ourselves and our place in the universe.
Next on Sci-Fi, Crossing Over with John Edward. On the next all-new Sci-Fi Friday, first it's Tremors.
I got pressing business with this creation of yours.
What is wrong with you people? Followed by Stargate SG-1.
Ah! My son. Yes, Father. You must survive.
Father! And Scare Tactics, hosted by Shannon Doherty.
You okay?
There's something dead up here.
What's that?
Sci-Fi Channel original series, Tremors, Stargate SG-1, and Scare Tactics, all new, Friday starting at 8.
By creating this rift in the fabric of time, I allowed a darkness to enter. The Spider Freaks.
A world premiere event. The Sci-Fi Pictures original, Webs, premieres Saturday at 9 on Sci-Fi.